While I show you how I spend my Sunday in my favorite kind of way, I want to talk to you about what happiness for me is. And this was the question I struggled with for the most part of my life, only to realize that the concept of it was taught to me by people and information surrounding me from the day I was born, and how I viewed happiness is not really my perspective. If I want to understand something, I dive into the subject deep and digest it into pieces to be fully competent in the meaning of it. So as in this case, I was unhappy and I wanted to get out. As many of us, I grew up understanding what is happiness for a woman by watching movies and reading about it in books. In my head, it was someone who takes care of others regarding her own resources, who works hard on her goals, and then at some point meets the love of her life. And this is considered the highest point of success. She gets married, has lots of kids, and then? And what is then? How many movies there are about a woman who just deals with her own life on her own and reaches happiness without all that? And where I was in the scale of happiness, single, not married, no kids, job that I lost passion for. Never would I think this was my own way of finding myself. And all I needed was to just have patience and give myself some years to gain more wisdom and step outside the victim mindset to see the opportunities it is actually giving me. Thankfully, while one of the most devastating things happened, and as I mentioned before, I lost my passion for a job that was giving me happiness, and because for many years I didn't want to give up, I reached the rock bottom, and many other things happened that made me question how to still be a human in such inhumane world. I decided to surrender to my intuition. The more I listened to it, the more I understood that actually I had to get to know myself, spend some time on my own. Being alone is what united me with my own needs that were suppressed by voices of others. Before, I was a lost person who would unconsciously find people who seemed to me put together and on the right path of life, doing what they like. I would join them, whether it was a romantic partner or a friend, and sort of try on their life to see if it fits me. For example, a friend of mine would be into meditations, and I would be inspired by her passion and joined her while she was making a career. I joined for a bit, but then realized it's something I like, but it's not something I would continue doing so seriously and with so much passion like my friend. I would start dancing, I would go to sound healing, I would try all kinds of hobbies, but I would see it as a tool, not as something I personally want to learn deeper and offer it to people around me. I continued doing it until I found my own voice, and instead of doing what majority people around me are doing and what is social media pushing us to do, to live faster, buy more, treat people like they're disposable instruments, and so on, I would take myself back to the careless times when I was a child. How happy and free I was then. What has changed? I have more responsibilities now, but I also worked hard enough for the last 15 years to be able to give myself a time off and see what has changed. What works best for me is taking 1 week off somewhere in the nature and doing detox from all the devices and information surrounding me. No books, no music with lyrics, no people, just me and my own thoughts that at first seem like a chaos, but eventually it filters something that is actually me. And at this point, it is easy to understand what I was doing was wrong before and what needs to be changed to be feeling better now. So when I got to know myself a lot better and found my passion that fits my personality the best, I discovered it in painting, by the way. To my surprise, once I did it, people would connect to me through my art. The same kind of people like I was before, in search for their inner voice in hopes to find it through me and my art. And this honestly is such a big honor for me. So what is happiness for me? It is calmness. It is a slow phase. It is fast phase when needed. It is something in between. Not too much, not too little. It is a slow walk by the beach, and it is going to the concert of my favorite band. It is a meditation and reading a book all day, and sometimes it is working 11 hours per day. This is what life is about, finding your own balance and not concentrating on suffering that is out there. It is always there. It has always been there, and it will always be there. And if you want, you can always find it the moment you think about it, and it is up to you to decide where you want to be.